This video showing how I fix my lint remover with Gorilla Glue. As crazy as that may sound, I was having an issue with the lint remover and it wasn't working properly. It was intermittent. At times, you can see in this video as I'm trying to turn it on and off, it's not working, but then when I shake it or squeeze it, it starts working. So I took it apart, and in this video you'll see my step-by-step process of trying to evaluate what's wrong with it. This is quite easy. You'll be able to see how it's taken apart, assessed, fixed. If you want to see more videos like this, let me know. Hit me with some comments below. I'm doing this almost every day. I have a family, so if something's always breaking in the house and I'm fixing it, usually I'm not recording it, so I want to start doing that and just showing how things can be fixed easily as opposed to replacing it. If you're handy or you like to doodle like me with tools and different things, as you can see, my channel is very eclectic with items from cars to cooking and things of that nature. So please like, subscribe. Like I said, leave a comment. Let me know if you have anything in mind that maybe I can work on, or just encourage me to continue to post and upload more videos. Thank you. So as you see, I begin to discover what is the function with this lint remover, this electrical lint remover. That's the switch that's used to turn it on and off. I look at the metal prongs that will be connecting for the battery power to the motor, and one side looks like it's been bent, probably from being forced to turn on and off when it started malfunctioning. So when I discover that, that's my first mode of attack. I get up to go get some tools and see what I can use to try and fix that connection. So I identify what tool I'm going to use, some flat needle nose pliers out of my watch kit to try and flatten the connection because it was curled up and bent from being forced on and off. So I do that. I make some adjustments to try and bring it back on both sides as even as possible so the connection can again be attained. So I'm thinking maybe this is the problem at this point, but I have to do some further investigating to see what else might be the culprit. So as I put in the switch to see that the function is there and the connections will be made, I see something else that is probably the real culprit here. And as I go and take a closer look, I see that the connection switch is loose and it wasn't secured in its spot. So where the toggle switch can go back and forth to make the connection on and off, the electrical connection that is for the motor. So then I look into that to see how can that be fixed and put back in place. And then I noticed it's that a tab that holds that connection in place is missing. So the tab was broken, and that's why when you would turn it on and off, it wouldn't work, because that tab that's holding that electrical plate to connect the current is not there anymore. So I'll go back and go get something that I can use to try and fix that, because that tab is broken and I can't replace the tab. So what will I use? What will I bring? And that's where the Gorilla Glue comes into play. I said, you know what? Let me try and use this to tack on that metal surface to the plastic piece to keep it in position, because the tab that actually is supposed to keep it in position has broken. Only one of them has a tab that's still intact. The other side was broken, so I'm going to use this glue so what I'm going to have to do is let this glue set to make sure that that connection won't come off again. And again, like I said, usually you would look at this and be like, it's not worth it. Just throw it out and buy a new one. But again, I like to tinker. I like to fix things. Keeps my mind sharp and lets you also know how things work. And I've been doing this for years now, so I enjoy now having an ability to record it and just kind of show people that things can be done. It's not that hard. You can take things apart. There are some items now with new technologies that you can't take it apart, but for those items that you can, usually it's a quick fix. Again, I bring out my tools for my watch repair kit, and I'm using my tweezers now to place in that connector and make contact with those drops of super glue that I put in place. And I'm going to secure it with the tweezers, and then I'm going to let it dry for a minute. But first, I see some string that has caught in the motor, and that can overheat the motor a lot of times and make it basically burn out. So what I do here is I use my tweezers to pull that out, so that won't be a problem after I fix this, because when I fix it and it starts working, hopefully, I don't want to have an issue with it burning out. And then when the motor burns out, at that point, I'm not going to replace the motor. I could, but I'm not. And I'll just probably get a new one. So I want to make sure that this thing lasts as long as it can. Hopefully, if I can fix it. So, as I'm going through looking at a problem, I'm looking through the item that I'm working on just to see if there's any other way or any other issues that might arise while I have it open. I can take care of that as well. And that's just an easy thing to remove that string or thread. So right now I am adjusting the plate for the connection where the on and off switch will toggle. Just kind of moving it back and forth, securing it so the glue is set under it. And then once I see that it's pretty much in place, I'm going to look at it, and then I'm going to make sure that I can let it dry, give it some time just to make sure that it sets properly. So when I do put the switch back on, I know that it's not going to just pop out because it didn't have time to dry. I checked it, it's secure. So I'm just now trying to set it up and put it back together. I'm trying to do some minor adjustments to make sure that the connections look good. So when I do put it back together, hopefully it works. All right, so I'm secure it properly because I want to make sure and test it out before I put the screws back and button everything up. So hopefully what I did works, and I want to check that at this point. And as I'm going through it, it doesn't look like it's working. So I have to now evaluate and see what I may have done wrong, if it's a connection issue, because there's nothing going on. The batteries are new. So I'm gonna have to take it back apart. Is not as good as I would like. So probably have to do some more minor adjustments. And then this is common when you're looking and tinkering through things. You'll double check it, see if the connections are there. I know it works because it was working intermittently before in the beginning of the video. So it's obviously something that needs to be checked. Was looking at it to make sure that the glue didn't get on the metal piece that would connect on the switch and complete the electrical current. So, you know, these are the little things you go through to kind of make sure that what you're doing is, in fact, going to solve the problem and not create other problems when you're fixing an item. did solves the problem, and we'll be able to find out if I know what I'm doing or am I just wasting my time and your time. Hopefully not. All right, boom. Looks like we are good to go. It feels great when you work on something like this and you are able to fix the problem. Now we can get back to using this lint remover, buster, shaver, and have our clothes and items looking crispy clean. So this is not the end, because there's another satisfying part. I'm going to actually test it out on one of our items at home and see how well it works, and if it can continue to stand up to the test. All right, it's the moment of truth. I'm gonna go get an item that we can try and use to test this baby out. Let me know what you think. Leave your comments below. Again, if you want to see more videos like this uploaded, send a comment, subscribe. All right, so I'm using it with the guard. The guard is not letting me get as satisfying results as I want, so I'm going to just pop off that guard, and then let's get to defuzzing, and let me know what you think about the results.